Have you ever seen an athlete so dominant that it almost feels unfair to the rest of the field? Like watching someone who refuses to accept defeat, no matter the odds. That was the story this weekend in California, where Scottie Scheffler came from behind to capture the Procore championship, marking his 19th PGA Tour victory. A comeback built not just on talent, but on sheer patience, composure, and belief. Just days before the event began, reporters gathered around Scheffler inside the clubhouse at Silverado Resort. He wasn't interested in distractions, not even in the looming Ryder Cup. "I didn't show up to Napa to talk about the Ryder Cup for 4 days. I'm here to play a golf tournament," he said calmly. It was a statement that would frame the entire week. A man on a mission. When Thursday's opening round closed with a score of 70, ending his remarkable streak of 21 straight rounds in the 60s, some wondered if the momentum had cooled. But Scheffler wasn't rattled. He was observing, adjusting, studying the greens, taking mental notes. For him, the first round wasn't a setback, it was reconnaissance. By Friday, with a round of 68, he was still 8 shots behind Ben Griffin. But the quiet confidence remained. The storm was building, and that's the thing about Scheffler. When most players see an 8-shot gap, they feel pressure. When Scheffler sees it, he sees opportunity. He never panics. He never forces it. He just waits for the right moment. If you thought those first 2 rounds told the story of this tournament, think again, because Saturday was about to flip everything on its head. On moving day, Scheffler delivered a breathtaking 64, the lowest score of the entire field, despite carting a double bogey. While the average player was grinding just to stay near par, Scheffler played like a man liberated. Birdie after birdie rolled in, the crowd growing louder, and suddenly that 8-shot deficit evaporated into a real contest. This was no longer Griffin's tournament to win. It was Scheffler's to take. That's what makes him so special. It's not just the technical mastery, it's the mental edge. He assesses, he recalibrates, and when the moment comes, he pounces with precision. And then came Sunday. The pressure was suffocating, but if you watched Scheffler, you wouldn't have known it. Starting in the penultimate group, he opened with a clutch 9-foot par save. It was the kind of shot that sends a message to the rest of the field. I'm here, I'm steady, and I'm not going away. By the 3rd hole, the putter was hot, 11 feet for birdie, and it dropped. On the 5th hole, another one. By the 7th, a 25-foot birdie bomb, and suddenly the scoreboard told a new story. Scheffler was on the hunt. By the turn, Griffin's lead had shrunk to a single shot, and then, at the par 4 10th, came the moment that shifted everything. From the rough, 82 yards out, Scheffler's ball bounced onto the green, rolled perfectly, and settled inches from the cup. A simple tap-in birdie. Just like that, the deficit was gone. He was tied for the lead. But the path wasn't without challenges. On the 11th hole, he 3-putted from 11 feet, giving a stroke back. The crowd gasped. The momentum could have slipped. But if there's one thing Scheffler doesn't do, it's collapse. He responded immediately with an up-and-down birdie on the par 5 12th. Just as quickly as the bogey came, it was erased. By the 14th, when Griffin stumbled with a bogey, Scheffler claimed the solo lead for the first time. At the 15th, he extended it further, turning his 2-shot deficit at the start of the day into a 2-shot lead. This was the shift. This was the statement. Scheffler wasn't just winning, he was closing. And while Griffin tried to answer with a birdie of his own on 15, the damage was already done. The psychological edge belonged to Scheffler. 3 straight pars closed out his round. 19 under par, 1 stroke ahead, and when Griffin needed a birdie on the 18th to force a playoff, the putt never came. The championship belonged to Scheffler. His 6th win of the year. His 3rd victory in just 5 starts. His 19th on the PGA Tour. Think about that for a moment. 19 career wins. That puts him in company with legends like Ben Crenshaw, Ernie Els, and Tom Kite. And when Scheffler himself reflected on that, he smiled and said, "Ben and Tom Kite, a couple awesome guys, a couple of Longhorns. Those are 2 guys that I've looked up to, and Ernie as well. It's pretty weird to be in the same realm as those guys just because I've looked up to them for such a long time. I feel very fortunate to be sitting here holding the trophy. That's humility. That's perspective. But make no mistake, this is dominance. 6 wins in 2025 alone, including 2 major championships. 15 straight finishes inside the top 8. Only twice has he finished outside the top 20 all year. That's consistency on a level the sport hasn't seen in decades. He's done it across majors, across continents, and now, for the first time, he's done it in California. The Procore Championship marked not just another trophy, but a first in the Golden State. And with the Ryder Cup just 2 weeks away, the timing couldn't be better. It's easy to forget, but Scheffler has already delivered a Ryder Cup victory for Team USA back in 2021. He'll tee it up again soon at Bethpage Black in New York. And if his current form is any indication, he'll be arriving with more confidence than ever. Because that's what sets him apart. It's not only the swing or the stats or the trophies. It's the preparation. He studies every course. He sharpens every edge. He works not just on his game but on his mindset. And when the moment comes, when the lights are brightest, he doesn't shy away. He steps forward. So let's take a step back. What we're watching right now is history. We are witnessing a player at the peak of his powers, rewriting expectations with every tournament. And the Procore Championship was just the latest chapter. If you're wondering what's next for Scottie Scheffler, the answer might be simple: more winning. More moments where deficits don't matter, where pressure doesn't break him, where the rest of the field looks over their shoulder and sees the inevitable coming. 19 PGA Tour victories. 6 in a single year. 2 majors. A player so dominant that even his setbacks feel temporary. This wasn't just a victory in California. This was a reminder that in the world of golf right now, Scottie Scheffler is in a league of his own. And if the rest of the season is anything like what we just saw at Procore, fans around the world better get used to watching him hoist trophies. Because when Scheffler shows up, history usually follows.